Blame Truth here, and this is going to be a different style of video because I am directly responding to not only TDawg, but to Infinity Ward themselves, and to a lesser extent, Activision, Blizzard, Microsoft, and all the people at the tippy top of the mountain, because I got to respond to this, and I've been called out, so to speak, and I want to just be as truthful as possible, and I want to really dial back what the channel has kind of become in the last several years. And in TDawg's video, he said most of the things I'm saying are completely justified, but he wanted me to do something that I haven't done in ages. And it's not because I haven't wanted to do it, it's because I feel like absolutely nothing I say is going to reach the people at the top, the dev teams at the bottom, or anything in between. And that is such a defeating feeling, I guess I'll say, because it just feels like I'm wasting my breath. It feels like I'm wasting my time. But in this particular video, I want to directly respond to TDawg, Infinity Ward, Activision, etc. And I'm going to get a lot off my chest, but I want to clue you in on what exactly I'm responding to. So let's roll the footage from my boy TDawg.
Like the proper criticism with, you know, with a dev listening, I think that's a good combination. Now, I think Blame Truth probably had some moments where he went a little bit too far. I don't know, so don't quote me on that. I don't want to be thrown in the mix of that. And so for me, Blame Truth to me has a huge platform with a lot of people that just don't like Call of Duty right now, or they hate Call of Duty, or they're blind hating Call of Duty. And I think seeing that video last night was actually kind of encouraging. I'm like, wow, Blame Truth, it almost reminded me of like Call of Duty 4 Blame Truth, where he was just vibing, talking about COD. I almost felt like he wanted to say he liked it, you know, like he wanted to say Call of Duty is back, but it's because his previous 7 years that he can't let go of that. Like, I don't, and again, he's got every right to be hurt by the last couple Call of Duties. They're not good, but I think if he could use his platform for like giving feedback and not giving feedback in a way of I don't know how you say it, just I think Infinity Ward would be receptive to his feedback. I'm not even trolling you, despite what he said in the past. And I think with a platform like he has, it would be awesome.
You know, TDawg reminds me of me before the franchise burned me, where I'm optimistic even when they mess up that they'll eventually bring it back, but I've just been let down so many times that I am, you know, we're kind of two sides of the same coin now. And truth be told, man, I would love, and I think my viewers, my long-term viewers will back me up on this, I would love nothing more than to actually say Call of Duty is back, like not even as a joke, but it's just been such a long, just horrible past 7 years. And there might have been some bright spots here and there, but to see what this franchise started as when I started playing it in 07 with Call of Duty 4 to now, it is just embarrassing. It truly is a joke. So I kind of just want to go down the line and address each of his points here. And I do want to actually provide positive feedback, no persona, no YouTube character turning it up to 11. I mean, I've always done that, but I've always tried to integrate, you know, like a professional wrestling style kind of flair to my thing, where like Stone Cold Steve Austin is not actually going out and drinking beer and stunning his boss, but he's him, you know what I mean? Like if you watch his Instagram and stuff like that, he's still Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like he's still that guy. That's what I want to kind of do in the videos. I want to make it entertaining. I want to make it like a CM Punk pipe bomb promo.
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
Unfortunately, some of the devs, one in particular, took it a little too personally, and on the surface it looks like she's ignoring us, but in actuality her feelings got hurt and she couldn't handle the job, the stress of the job, of people just, you know, roasting her and demanding answers, and she just stopped communicating with us, and that made the problem worse. But I did apologize for that. So first and foremost, you know, don't take anything I'm saying to heart here. You know, I am simply trying to make entertaining videos, air my grievances, and I'm not ever promoting any sort of like personal attacks on their personal social medias or whatever. Never have, never will. That's not cool, but you know, just airing my grievances on my own videos, it's not anything to take too seriously. You know what I mean? Regardless, though, I want to actually give some positive feedback here. And I want to give a lot of it. And I don't expect Infinity Ward to actually listen to me. I really don't. TDawg says they might. I really don't think they will ever acknowledge my existence. I don't think anyone at Activision, Blizzard, Call of Duty, or whatever will acknowledge me, because then that's just going to push more people to the content I'm making, and they don't like what I'm saying about them. And, you know, most of the stuff I tell you guys is either the truth or it is a guess to what the truth is, and it doesn't paint them in the best light. So, yeah, hell will freeze over when they actually acknowledge my presence, truthfully. But I want to get into all the positive feedback I possibly can and more after a brief word from this video's sponsor. Poor sleep is the root of so many problems like Alzheimer's, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, etc. And the CDC says 1 in 3 Americans don't get enough sleep. One reason sleep matters so much is while you sleep, your brain runs a cleaning process called the glymphatic system, clearing out waste linked to Alzheimer's. You miss deep sleep consistently, that cleanup is just not doing its job. The problem, though, is that much of the sleep aid industry focuses on sedation, not better sleep. Instead of addressing the root issue, many products keep people relying on them night after night like an addiction. For years, Andrew Huberman has highlighted 3 supplements he uses before bed. Check this out.
The problem with melatonin is it will help you fall asleep, but it won't help you stay asleep. And so some people have this problem. They take melatonin, they fall asleep, and then they wake up 3 or 4 hours later.
So it wears off?
Yeah, there are much better things for sleep.
What do you choose for sleep?
Yeah, my favorite sleep cocktail based on really good, solid, peer-reviewed science is magnesium threonate. It's THREONATE, threonate. And something called apigenin, APIGENIN, which is basically a derivative of chamomile. Those two things work really well they essentially shut down the forebrain thinking, anticipating part of your brain, allow you to drift off into sleep really well.
Oh, I need that all day then if you could shut that down.
You know, well, and then theanine is also the third thing in the cocktail.
So guys, sleep isn't just about falling asleep. It's about 6 different factors: sleep onset, deep sleep, REM sleep, cortisol control, mental calm, and body cooling. That's why I started using Black Forest Sleepy Cocoa. It combines magnesium, apigenin, and theanine with saffron, glycine, taurine, and a 0.5 milligram dose of melatonin designed to support sleep without leaving you groggy the next morning. So I've been using this stuff for about 3 weeks now, and I used to wake up around 3 a.m. and struggle to get back to sleep, but that stopped after taking this within the first week. The biggest surprise actually was the saffron, and I looked this stuff up. It's been shown to help people fall asleep faster, and I love it. Right now, Black Forest is running their Memorial Day biggest deal of the year, so it's 50% off store-wide promo. Hit up the link in the description and make sure you are getting the sleep your body needs to thrive. All right, guys, welcome back to the video. Thank you, BFS, again for the long-term sponsorship. Definitely pick yourself up some supplements during their big sale. Their stuff, I personally swear by it. It's great. Regardless, though, let's get right on into the meat and potatoes here, and let's talk about the feedback as per TDawg's request here. A calm, collected, logical video with cited sources and even a bit of science. Yes, that will explain exactly what they need to do on the multiplayer front. Now, this is Infinity Ward. I can rag on a lot of their multiplayer decisions. I can rag on a lot of decisions that maybe don't come from them directly. Instead, it's like Activision higher-ups or whatever that want certain things in the game or whatever. But I cannot deny how good Infinity Ward is, and I don't think anyone would disagree with me how good they are at making the gameplay feel visceral. It is leagues above any other shooting game on the market as far as how the guns feel, as far as the animations, the fluidity, the sound design, the visuals. Truthfully, I don't think even the biggest hater will say that Infinity Ward makes like ugly or crappy feeling first-person shooter games. On the contrary, that's one of the few things that's carried over from the first time I played Call of Duty back in 2007 with Call of Duty 4. I was so impressed about how just the game felt, and it's why I chose the game over Halo 3 at the time, which I also loved. But the satisfaction of shooting a gun in Call of Duty 4 is something that hooked me like a drug. Infinity Ward. I bring this up because my first point, probably above SBMM, EOMM, which we'll get to next, but probably above all of that is the aura and the atmosphere of the game. You have that serious, visceral aesthetic going on with Modern Warfare 4. You need to stick with that and make it so that when you boot up the game, you feel like you are escaping into a specific, serious military vision of a video game. There needs to be no goofy shit. There needs to be no Halloween event stuff as well, even at the end of the game's life cycle. You need to keep that atmosphere and that sort of just serious tone all throughout the game. And I'm going to actually reference Treyarch and praise them because they probably had the most atmospheric, incredible thing I have ever seen in a Call of Duty game. And I just want to show it off right now.
I know when you're lying.
The Black Ops 1 menu is exactly what I'm talking about. You feel like you're in it. That interrogation room main menu. Everything that Black Ops 1 was and wanted to be was baked into every single pixel of the game, no matter where you were at. Even the main fucking menu. I don't want to see another game where my soldier's just endlessly walking, showing off his skin or whatever. Please bring us something original and creative like that again, Infinity Ward, or hell, any other Call of Duty dev listening to this. It might seem like a small thing that doesn't matter. It matters. So many people in the comment section right now are probably typing out, hey, I love the Black Ops 1 menu. When I think of Call of Duty personally, myself here, Blame Truth, I think of that menu first and foremost. That is what the franchise needs to be. You have completely lost your way the past 7 years, and I don't think this is the devs' fault necessarily. I think they want to make a serious, gritty, dark-toned game, but Activision has just made them do a bunch of stupid stuff. You know, it's just what it is. But yeah, that's probably the main thing over anything else about how this multiplayer component in your particular game should feel. And this obviously goes for campaign, but it needs to extend past campaign. Campaign should be the benchmark for what you bring into the multiplayer component and the DMZ component. And this is where Call of Duty has shit the bed so fucking hard in the past several years. I don't want to see anything that takes me out of the Call of Duty, old school Call of Duty atmosphere, aesthetic, whatever you want to call it, whether I'm playing multiplayer, whether I'm in the options menu, whether it's Christmas time, whatever. I don't want to hunt little green goblins like in Vanguard. I don't want Krampus to come out of a toilet and give me a hand job. I don't want Beavis and Butthead. I don't want Dave Chappelle. I don't want any of this stuff. Anything in the Call of Duty universe needs to fit that universe and that narrative. Otherwise, you look like Fortnite's creepy uncle and you hurt the overall brand and franchise as a whole. People do not forget that. And speaking of things people don't forget, they don't forget how things used to be. And we are going to get into the next point here, which is arguably just as, if not more so important than the point I just made. SBMM/EOMM. If you're new to the channel and you don't know what I'm talking about, or maybe you know what SBMM is, let me just show you what EOMM is and why it does not belong in Call of Duty anymore. Whatever system they are using for the matchmaking, which they're still kind of hush-hush on the details, and the one time they did try to explain it to us, they blatantly lied to us. Whatever system is in play is proven with math to be a colossal failure of a system. And I'm also going to prove it with cited sources and science. Yes, I'm not kidding. We're going to reference a book here, okay? But first and foremost, let's cover what EOMM actually is. In Call of Duty, EOMM, engagement optimized matchmaking, refers to a controversial algorithm based matchmaking system that prioritizes player retention and in game spending over match fairness or connection quality. Instead of just grouping players by pure skill like traditional SBMM, EOMM uses advanced AI and behavioral analytics to design specific match outcomes. But whatever this system is, it might work if your entire player base were fucking idiots and we didn't actually look into how things operate behind the scenes. Unfortunately, every content creator knows it exists. Every content creator has either been gaming the system or has been speaking out against it since you introduced it in Modern Warfare 2019, and from what I hear, the rumors or whatever, Infinity Ward were the ones that suggested this system in the first place. You cannot look at these numbers I'm showing you on Steam charts here and tell me that the skill-based matchmaking system works at all. And it's not just Steam charts. I mean, Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7 lost like 18 million players, and any Call of Duty game, even ones like Modern Warfare 2019, which saw a resurgence in player count, it didn't last. And I'm telling you why right here. It's because the matchmaking is abysmal dog shit. But maybe you're not convinced. Maybe somehow you're still not convinced. I want to show you this player count right here. And I don't have the internal data. I don't know. I just know what I've played, what I've seen, and what I saw when they had the player counts public and live or whatever. In Black Ops 1 alone, the player counts around December 2010 hit nearly 3 million, with some reports saying that it hit over 3 million concurrent. Concurrent is much different than weekly or monthly active users or whatever. 3 million concurrent players is insanity. That is so large. And this is one mode. This is just multiplayer, by the way, on one console, Xbox 360. It's not counting PlayStation, and it's not counting PC at the time. These numbers were achieved primarily because of my first 2 points I have already made in this video for feedback to Infinity Ward on what they need to do with the franchise. And it's not hard. I'm not some genius up here. I'm just saying what works. Don't change things that are not broken. Do change things that are broken and aren't working. Do not change things that are tried and true. The aura, the atmosphere, the immersion, the matchmaking system, the very simple ping is king matchmaking system is what brought you to the dance, and you simply refuse to go back to it. You know, you say you're going back to the aura thing. Well, prove me right. Like, really, really get me hyped up here and get rid of this dog shit matchmaking that you have tried to force on us and hide from us for years, by the way, until we forced you to acknowledge it, essentially. Just get rid of it. Can it? It does not work. And I actually want to reference this study that I read in a book I just finished, and it's you could draw many parallels. To summarize, this chapter is delving into the harmful lack of play that children get in schools nowadays. It's weird to say this in a YouTube Call of Duty video, but bear with me here. Paraphrasing, basically kids nowadays are not given enough playtime with other kids outside, whatever, and it's definitely not unsupervised a lot of the time. Parents are overprotective with their kids and they won't let them play outside and kind of do their own thing, and it's way too restrictive on top of having less of it. This is incredibly bad, science says, for a child's development, especially in the areas of creativity and problem solving and whatnot. Seriously though, I'm going to read an excerpt here from this book and tell me if this isn't the exact same problem we are having in current day Call of Duty to a T. Check this out. Yet suddenly, we have been taking all of this out of kids' lives, Lenore says. Today, even when children do finally get to play, it's mainly supervised by adults who set the rules and tell them what to do. On Lenore's street, when she was a kid, everyone played softball and policed the rules themselves. Today, they go to organized activities where the adults intervene all the time to tell them what the rules are. Free play has been turned into supervised play, and so, like processed food, it has been drained of most of its value. You're not getting the chance to develop these skills because you're in a car being driven to a game where somebody tells you what position you're playing and when to catch the ball and when it's your time to hit and who's bringing the snack, and you can't bring grapes because they have to be cut into quarters and it's your mom's job to do that. That's a very different childhood because you haven't experienced the give and take of life that's going to prepare you for adulthood. As a result, kids are not having the problems and the exhilaration of getting there on their own. One day, Barbara Cernecka, an associate professor of cognitive sciences at the University of California, told Lenore that today adults are saying, here's the environment, I've already mapped it out, stop exploring. But that's the opposite of what childhood is. You can see the parallels I'm going to make here. This is exactly the problem with the matchmaking system. You are told what skill bracket you're in. You're told what to do. You're told when to lose. You're told when to have fun, when not to have fun, when to be frustrated, when not to be frustrated, when to be bored, when to be entertained, etc. They took something that never was a problem before and made it a problem in order to sell skins and bundles and shit in the store when all they had to do was make a good game with aura, atmosphere, no manipulation, and more people would be more likely to stick on the game and play it and buy something that makes them feel more immersed in the universe that is Call of Duty. Back to that bit of text though. You're not given a chance to have fun on your own. You're not given a chance to improve because as soon as you start improving, the experience objectively gets worse for you. You are not given the chance to earn a kill streak on your own because you earned it. You happened to match with people you had a good connection to and you get a high tier streak and you feel that sense of accomplishment because you fucking earned it. You were bad at one point or you got better or you got good enough to get that streak in this particular lobby. No one is given the chance to actually improve without getting punished. When I really break it down like this, it sounds completely fucking insane, but that's what it is. Call of Duty originally started as almost a sandbox. You could go into a multiplayer game and you can choose to try your ass off if you want and get a nuke. You could choose to be really goofy and try something stupid. You could choose to run around with a tack knife. You could choose to go grenade only or something. You could choose to go for camos and grind headshots on the worst gun in the game, and you could switch it on the fly in said game. Within one multiplayer match, I could switch between 4 different ways of playing, and it could just be in response to someone in the lobby. It could be whatever I want to do. That has been completely fucking lost, and it's not fun. It just is not fun. And for my last bit of feedback here, yeah, I'm only really doing 3 bits of feedback because these guys, Infinity Ward, have been making video games, Call of Duty specifically, for a long, long time, 2 decades. I think they kind of understand, especially if they're playing the game and listening to others' feedback, what they need to do. But my last bit of feedback might be the most important here. This past year in particular, and a lot of the years after the pandemic or whatever, there was just a nasty kind of stench around this franchise. Anyone trying to play it and pass it off as a good, fun experience, no one watched. And it's not because people like negativity more than positivity or whatever, because my channel was initially built on positivity and helping players get better and talking about how much I liked the game at the time. So that's not true. That's simply not true. People watch videos of a game that entertains them. What's it saying about your franchise? Call of Duty, Activision, Blizzard, Microsoft, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Phoenix, whatever, when I have gotten so many views on my videos, I'm completely self-made. I've never had the machine behind me. I've never tried to do anything but get up here and spit the truth to my viewers. That's the only thing I've ever done. I've backed up all of my complaints with like hard evidence or hard data or logical conclusions or what have you. What is it saying about your franchise when the most popular Call of Duty YouTuber shits on the game? People find that more fun than just playing the game. At least the majority do. What is that saying about the state of the franchise? Here's my last bit of feedback. Okay, I do have a point here. My last bit of feedback is to stop bullshitting us through the year. You know that limited time events don't move the needle. You know that these quote-unquote big season updates are just a way to sell skins. What we want to see is what we got just recently. I'm not kidding. Just recently with Black Ops 7. I can't believe I'm praising this game, but I am. Black Ops 7, if you didn't hear, brought back this like classic Black Ops classic OG mode. Only old school maps they brought back from, I think, Black Ops 2, and are there Black Ops 1 maps in that particular playlist? I don't know, but from what I saw of Nero covering it, they have completely restricted the movement to just this bare bones kind of movement style like the old Call of Duties. You only play on the old, good, proven maps, and Nero said it's the best thing he's played in ages. It's the most fun he's had on Call of Duty in a long, long time. Even on Steam charts, again, where we can track it like by hard data, the numbers have actually gone up. Like we might actually see a reversal on this downtrend. You know, they really haven't lost that much in the last 30 days. We might see people actually coming back and playing this mode because you brought in something fun with this season. Not only that, but when you bring in things that are actually fun, season to season, game to game, your content creators advertise the game for you in a positive manner. You failed to realize how much sway we actually have here. Between all of us, we are reaching millions of different people here, okay? Millions of different Call of Duty fans. They come to the content creators that have had skin in the game for years, if not decades, like myself, to see what's going on with the franchise and if they should check it out. I am not going to sit up here and suck your dick if you do something shitty. If you do something shitty that no one likes, I'm going to get up here and swing my dick and tell people exactly what you've done that's wrong. And if you don't correct it, if you don't course correct it, your franchise suffers. People stop playing. Some people watch my content and don't play the game, but they have said, through no hyperbole, like they're not joking, that if I give Modern Warfare 4 the seal of approval, they'll come back to the franchise. And I am not the only creator that has that kind of sway and that kind of power. You need to give us a good game first and foremost. We will do the rest. You are trying to swim against the fucking current, and the last I checked, you are not a goddamn salmon, all right? You're a video game publisher, you are a studio, you are a dev team, what have you. But my God, we need creative people on the dev team to bring us new fun things to do at the start of these new seasons through the year. And I'm hoping that we have them this year. That news that dropped about like, what was it? It was that map with several different combinations. It's like broken into 3 sections and you can get all these classic OG maps kind of stitched together. That is an incredibly creative idea. More of that, please. Do you remember when you had like the Michael Myers mode in Ghosts? Incredibly creative. Bring that back. Don't just bring it back though, by the way. Bring it back, and if we unanimously like it, keep it in the fucking game. Don't make it a limited time event. I am so sick of limited time modes that go away and come back like a revolving door for no particular reason. You're just throwing shit at the wall and hoping that it sticks. It does not work. You need concrete, great ideas. And I hope that this is expanded not only in Modern Warfare 4 multiplayer, but also DMZ. Don't just like sit on your hands this year. Don't make the mistake Battlefield 6 made and just kind of bite your nails and hope that the limited amount of content you're bringing is enough to justify people sticking around when there is competition not only in the gaming space but in the world. I mean, you're not just competing with video games now, you're competing with TikTok, you're competing with YouTube, you're competing with Snapchat and Facebook and regular books. I hope people still read. I think that's dropping year over year, but movies, shows, all this stuff. I mean, there's only so much attention in the world. If you sit on your hands and bring us something half-assed this year and you don't deliver the entire year with GTA 6 out, your franchise will never recover. I'm telling you this not because I'm angry, not because I'm pissed off, and not because I want to see you fail. I'm telling you this because deep down, I love Call of Duty. I love what I have been doing here on YouTube for the past 20 years, nearly 20 years. And I don't want to see the thing I love die. I don't want to see you continually bullshitting us. I don't want to see any of the issues that I have brought up in this particular video repeated ever again. Don't make this just a yearly thing, please. I hope you've learned your lesson from the colossal failure that was Black Ops 7, from the terrible player retention that Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops 6 brought us, from the glitchy rush jobs that Cold War and Vanguard gave us, and the polarizing, not very good decisions that you've had to just walk back now with Modern Warfare 4 that you gave us with Modern Warfare 2019. Use this last 7 years as a learning experience, and please be better. If you make a fun game, first and foremost, the creators will do so much of the work for you. We really will. You will make more money. You will have more players playing the game if everybody is happy and we can make content on the game. You're still allowed to mess up. I'm also a DBD player. I'm not sure if you guys know that. I play DBD. Sometimes the game is good. Sometimes the game is abysmal dog shit. The difference, though, is that this isn't a yearly release title that I have to pay $70 to get, and then randomly, like halfway through the life cycle of the game, it can just turn to shit. It's one game that I bought once, and if I don't want to play it, I can put it down until they get their shit together and fix it, and then I can come back a few months down the line, a year down the line, whatever. The devs also, when they do mess up, will apologize. I'm praising DBD devs here, but it's true. They will mess up, apologize, fix it, all is right. It's crazy to me that Call of Duty is still stuck in this cycle. If you're not going to stop the yearly releases, every yearly release needs to be a banger that builds off the last one, like the golden era Call of Duties in Call of Duty 4 to Black Ops 2. And that's all I have to say. My challenge to TDawg here, and you guys can let him know, is to react to the 3 points here, okay, in his next video. I want to see what he thinks of this, if he agrees, disagrees, or whatever. But TDawg, thank you for recommending I do this. Hopefully that wasn't too negative, and hopefully I stayed mostly positive here. But I just wanted to get all of this out because I've been dying to say it, but it's felt like no one's listening. I don't know if they'll listen to this, but maybe if TDawg covers it and, you know, like just reacts to the points I made, he doesn't have to watch the whole video back if he doesn't want to. But, you know, the summarization of what I'm talking about here, the 3 main points, if he just talks about those in detail, maybe they'll listen to me by proxy. One can hope. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm going to end it here. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.